right, sleeves are done. And the last thing before we can wear our very hard-earned knife grinder's daughter sweater is to pick up the ribbing along the neck. So I am no longer swapping skeins, even though I have a small part of one ball left and pretty substantial second ball left. It's just the ribbing, and I feel like it can be all one color, and that's not a big deal. Because we're not going to have to switch skeins in the middle of that. So the instructions say to pick up a multiple of 4 stitches around the neck. So you'll kind of have to count and then do a little bit of math when you get to the end, and you might have to pull some out in order to do a few less or a few more in order to have a multiple of 4. So it's a little bit tricky, but it might take a few tries to get there, and that's perfectly okay. It says to pick up 1 stitch through every bind off stitch and roughly 3 stitches for every 4 rows along the side, okay? So I'm gonna show you what that looks like. I went ahead and started at a shoulder seam right here, and I started picking up some stitches, okay? So here's what I'm doing. Along the side here, there's rows, okay? So you can see the little V shapes. Let me use this other needle here so you can see. You can see, if I fold this back, along this edge, there's some V shapes, right, where the loops go. So you want to go under both of those to pick up stitches, just like we were doing for the sleeve. It's no different. But this time, you want to pick up 3 and then skip 1, because you want to pick up 3 for every 4 rows, okay? So you can see here, I've picked up 1, I've picked up 2, I'm going to pick up the very next one. I'm going to go under both legs of that loop, just like that, to pick up this stitch. Oops, hang on, I'm getting it under a different one. Let me go under these 2. We're going to come out like that. So there's 3, but this next one right here, I'm going to skip that, and I'm going to go into the next one here under both legs like that. So see, I'm skipping that one. That is how you get 3 for every 4 rows. That's the easiest way. Okay, so there's 1. So I skipped 1, there's 4. So now I'm getting to where she's referring to the bind off right here. So if I just keep going, now these are all the stitches, right? Remember when we bound this off to do the shoulders? So she wants you to pick up 1 stitch for every bind off, okay? So your bind off is rolling maddeningly, so just be patient and go 1 stitch at a time, okay? So we're just gonna go under there, draw 1 up, okay? And then under these 2 legs of this bound off stitch, and we're going to pick that one up like this, scooch everything down, okay? Here's the next one right there. Let's go under both legs of that stitch, grab this, and we're going to go up like this, and I'm going to continue doing this all the way around, picking up 1 stitch in every bind off, and then on the sides where there's rows, I'm going to pick up 3 stitches for every 4 rows. Okay, I've just finished picking up my last stitches, and now it's time to join in the round, and we are going to work a rib pattern here. Okay, so let's slide these up here so you can see I've got stitches picked up all around the neck here. I'm going to place a marker for joining in the round just so I don't forget. And let's see, this is the first stitch I picked up. Oh boy, where's the tail over here? I think it's this one. Yep, I'm going to just pull this one a little tight, the tail of that first stitch. All right. And now that I've got a multiple of 4 stitches, it took a few tries to get that, just like I said. Now I'm going to bust into ribbing. So I'm going to knit 1, knit 2, purl 1, purl 2. Knit 1, 2. Purl 1, purl 2. I'm going to continue round after round after round in 2x2 knitting until I have 3/4 of an inch of ribbing. Once you have done your 3/4, it is time to do the bind off. And so you can tell I've started mine already. Now, because the neck is pretty wide, we are going to do the decrease bind off in rib. The other bind off that we did for the sleeve is just a touch too ripply, and it's a little too stretchy. That's great for some projects, but I think this neckline, I want it to be a little more firm. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. I'm going to get through my purls here. All right, now I'm going to bring the yarn to the back. So you can see here I have a knit and a knit and a purl and a purl. So we're going to be knitting, whenever you see a knit, we're going to be knitting 2 together through the back loops, or we're going to be purling 2 together when we're at a purl. Okay, so here's how this works. When you're first starting out, you're going to knit 1 stitch. Then you're going to pass it over to the needle over here. This next stitch is what decides what you're going to do. This is a knit right here. Okay, so I'm going to knit these 2 together through the back loop. Oops, make sure I get under there. Okay, now the next one is a knit, so I'm going to pass this over and I'm going to knit these 2 through the back loop as well. Now this one's a purl, so before I pass it, I want to bring the yarn to the front. And now I'm going to, whoops, I keep forgetting what I'm doing here, purl this one, pass this one over, get it through the loop, there we go, pass this one over, purl these 2 together. The next one's a purl, so I want to leave my yarn in front, pass this one over, purl these 2 together like this. This next one is a knit, so I'm going to move my yarn to the back before I pass, knit these 2 together through the back loop. This one's also a knit, so I leave the yarn back there, pass this one over, knit these 2 through the back loop. This next one's a purl, so I'm going to move before I pass, and then I'm going to purl these 2 together, like that. This one's a purl, yarn's already in front, good to go. Pass that stitch back here, purl these 2 together, just like this. This one's a knit, and so on and so forth, all the way around. Doing the very last couple of stitches of my bind off here, and that one's a purl as well. So we're going to go like this. All right, that's the last stitch right there. I'm just going to make it nice and large. Let's get the needles out of here. And we're going to cut just like that. Let's see, so I feel like you can see here that there's kind of a jog. This is taller than this one. So what I'm going to do is, before I pass this through here, I like to kind of weave this in a little bit. So I'm going to put this on the needle like so, and I'm going to come over here, and you can see kind of where we started right over there. I'm going to pass this through here and then through this loop like that, and that will kind of close that gap. See, now it looks like one nice even, and then I can roll it in and we have a nice smooth transition. And you'll see that now we have, oops, let me turn it on to the front side. We've got a neck. just like that. And you can tell it's rolling and it needs to be blocked, but now we've got our neck is all done, our sleeves are all done also, and it's time to block it and wear it. Yay! Ta-da! I am all finished with my Knife Grinder's Daughter sweater. I absolutely love the fabric that this fingering weight makes. It's so super light, and it's super bouncy, and I love it because it isn't made out of a worsted weight like my Weekender is, which of course I love, but I can wear this more often than just in the freezing cold snow. This is so great. We've got this lovely detail down here, down the side and on the arm, which I absolutely love. The sleeves do that thing I love. I've got plenty of movement here so that I can put them up. It's nice and flowy. The back is just a touch longer than the front, so it's got super good style. It's got that boxy shape. I am absolutely in love with this sweater, and I hope that you love yours too. When you go to block this, if you have any questions, I made a short little video that I posted to the blog section of auroratalksknit.com that talks about how it can be difficult to block a sweater. When you dip it in the water and you pull it out, it's normally huge and everybody panics. That happened to this one as well, but as you can see, I blocked it right to the measurements that was shown in the pattern and it came out perfectly. So let me know if you have questions about that. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining us on this street along for the Knife Grinder's Daughter. Mwah! I will see you in the next one.